Hello everyone, I'm here with a new process video. I'm working through my photos from New York, really trying to get this album done here. And I have a 3x8 layout on the left and a 4x8 on the right. And interestingly, before I turned on the camera and was really looking at this, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should switch this to a 3x8 because these are meant for that size 3x4, but I had a 4x8 here because the pictures on the other side were printed as squares. And I was trying to get my way out of using those. But I've decided no, I'm just going to keep it and make it work. I'm probably going to cut this card down to give it more of a square shape, and then I'll just decorate, the rest of it. Here, I'm not sure. I might leave it as is and just have the sides showing. Or I could make it into a square as well. I'm not really losing much if I do that, but I'm undecided on that right now. But at least I knew I wanted this card because I knew it would match with this. The other thing I was considering was not using this entire print and actually cutting out, like fussy cutting, the part of the little island logo. However, then I lose all that yellow and it kind of defeats the purpose of having this, but I like the idea of it because I could just use a yellow background. So I have lots of things to decide here, and I'm not really sure where to start. I decided to go into my yellow scraps and see what would happen if I did fussy cut this. Could I find a piece of paper that's a scrap? I don't want to cut into a new piece of paper, but could I find a scrap piece that would work behind that? I have three options. I have just a plain old background, but very close to that color. So clearly that would be okay. And I have this one, which actually has like a little bubble design in it. That would be fine. You'd see some of that in the background, but I don't think that would be a bad thing. And then here's my most wild choice. This. I found this in there, and at first I was like, what are you thinking? Those are some, fairly bold stripes, but I kind of like it. I think it adds a nice little pop there, and then the darker stripe in here is this color. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to cut it down and see what I think, but right now I kind of am digging this one. I cut down the paper. I also fussy cut out the logo. I am not the world's greatest fussy cutter, but I'm happy with the way it came out. I thought about trying to intricately go in between there, and I just decided, you know what, no, I'm going to save myself the headache and not do that. So this is what I have, but given that background where you can see the yellow, I feel like it needs more definition. So what I'm thinking is I may just do a white strip behind it because I've got this big NYC here in white. I think it would look okay. So I just grabbed out of my white scraps this piece here. I don't know how wide it is, but I'm going to cut it to 3 inches across here and just see what I think of it if I were to do it. So there's the background, there's the white. Okay, I definitely think it needs it, but this is too wide. So let's how wide is this? Not quite 2. So let's maybe go 1.5. That still might be too wide, but let's see. That's better, but I think maybe just like another, maybe 1/4 of an inch. Let's see, is this the winner? I like that better. I'm going to go with that. So there you have it. It's put together, but I feel like it needs some black because I've got black in every other picture basically. So I may just do some splattering with ink, but I would cover up this part to make sure it doesn't get on there. All right, the piece of paper that I had left is just about the perfect size to cover that up. So I have that ready to go. I've shaken this up already. This is Heidi Swap Color Shine in black. Ooh, if I can get it open. I haven't used this in a while. Using black always makes me a little nervous because it's so dark. So if you screw up, you're gonna see it. So I don't want all this extra gloopy on there. Let's try that. Is that enough? You know what? I'm afraid of putting too much on there. Let that dry, then I'll remove the paper and I'll see what I think of it. There is the card with the splattering, and I think it's just enough. I'm not gonna add anything else. However, I'm also not gonna put this away, because once I get this figured out and the background built, I might need to use it again so that this background kind of matches that background a little bit. I'm not sure, but for now, I'm gonna leave it out just in case. Okay, I'm having a little bit of a dilemma here. I've already decided this is how I'm going to do this pocket. I cut a 4x4 piece of white cardstock. I cut this card down. It'll fit on there nicely. And then I can do like some washi up top maybe if I want, or embellish or whatever. So I feel pretty okay about that. But what do I do for the background of this? I can't do yellow. There's too much yellow happening, or there's enough, but more would be too much. I don't want to do blue because there's that. Do I just use gray? Because these buildings here kind of look gray. The railing is, the sidewalk is various shades. It's a neutral, so I mean, I guess I could. The other option maybe is brown, a lighter brown like what's in here, because it is in the logo. It's here in the trees. I'm kind of torn because I'm not sure I'm crazy about any of those combinations. Since I can't make up my mind about that other pocket, I'm going to focus on this one. I do have this adhered now, and then I have pulled out 3 narrow washies to choose from to put a strip like just along the top. I kind of like the idea of this one because it's got a white background and just a little bit of a scallop, and it kind of reminds me of the top of this. So that would work. This is just black with a nice gold stripe, and there are some golden tones in here, so I feel like I could get away with it. And then this is kind of my standby. It's just black with a tiny little stripe in it. It's very subtle. It kind of goes with anything. So if I don't love the other two, this is my fallback. I decided to go with the washi that had the more scalloped edge because I realized that this one I actually used a couple layouts back. And not that I couldn't repeat it, but I'd like it to be different. And I just didn't feel like this one was quite right. So I went with this one. I did decide to do some splattering on this so that it would match this pocket. And I think it's just enough. I'm happy with it. So that's all I think I'm going to do with that one. Oh, that leaves me with this problem child. What am I going to do up here? You know, sometimes it's a good thing that I leave random crap on my desk because in one of my previous layouts, I had to cut into a gray sheet of paper and I needed a 4x8 size, which left me with a 4x4 chunk that I had just thrown on my desk. And then I was like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'll use it for something. Well, here is that something. I'm going to just do this because I think it's subtle enough where it's not too bold, it's not distracting, but it's different enough from the white that it's clearly not the same color, and it's a neutral. So I think it works out okay. So I'm going to use that one. Now I have to figure out, do I want to leave it as is? Do I want to cut it more to a square? How am I going to embellish it? All right, I've adhered this, and I think I have found what I want to do up here. I think I'm going to use this little bubble here that says, adventure is wherever you find it, because in all my times in New York, I've never been to Little Island. So I thought, all right, this time I'm going to go down there, see what the fuss is about since it's been built. I really, really enjoyed it, but I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know, oh, will I just walk up and take some pictures and leave? Will I actually climb up the paths to the top and look at the view? I did all the things because I ended up just enjoying it so much. And it's kind of crazy because like the city is chaotic, busy, you know, there's always people around. But when I was up here, it felt quiet and peaceful. There were some people there, but it certainly wasn't crowded by any means. And I almost felt like I got this golden hour dusk time to myself. And I really needed that after all the running and go, go, go that I had been doing the whole time I was, excuse me, the whole time I was there. So it was totally worth it for me. So let's see what I think of all of these together. Is that enough? Do I need to do anything else? Part of me wants something here, but I think it would be too busy because I've already got these and then I've got the washi. You know what? I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. So here's another one finished for New York. Thanks for watching.